We have some huge news from the NHL waiver wire today, including the Maple Leafs goaltender Petr Mrazek on waivers, and the Leafs are attempting to sign another goalie from Finland. We'll discuss all this latest news coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some pretty substantial NHL waiver news here today amongst all the trades. I thought we would do a dedicated video here on the waivers news and talk about it here, and it's because it's a lot. We have Petr Mrazek, the most notable name on the waiver wire here today, from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Of course, signed for a couple more years at $3.5 million. We know he has not had a good season so far in Toronto. Campbell has struggled recently as well, and there's been a lot of talk and concern over the Maple Leafs net-minding situation, wondering what they might do. Will they make a trade before the deadline? You know, you have to think that they're working on something here, and maybe if he does clear waivers for tomorrow, maybe that'll help facilitate a trade because the team will have the ability to play him at the NHL or AHL level. So it gives them a little bit more flexibility for the last month of the season, I guess. That's maybe a possibility, but they've also signed goaltender Harri Sateri, who's I believe he's 31 or 32 years old. He was playing in the KHL. He's a Finnish goaltender. He does have previous NHL experience, not a lot of it. He played in North America for a few years, has spent a little bit of time in Detroit, a little bit of time at the Florida Panthers, had limited use, played in the AHL, but has played in the KHL for the last, I believe, 4 or 5 years. Recently won a gold medal at the Olympics for Team Finland. So he's played pretty well as of late, and he signs a one-way contract with the Maple Leafs for $750,000 for the rest of the year. Now, because he's coming from Europe, though, he also requires waivers. So you have to wonder what the Leafs' total plan is here. There's got to be another piece of this puzzle that we may not know. You have to wonder, teams out there that have goaltending issues, like Edmonton comes to mind, would they grab a guy off waivers like this just to help themselves while screwing over the Maple Leafs? It's a real possibility. I mean, if Soteri clears and the Leafs can get him on their roster, will they go with Campbell and Sateri? Is there something else in the mix? You have to think that there's probably another move here that we don't know yet that's kind of lined up. So we'll have to stay tuned. The Leafs goaltending situation is certainly getting a little bit more interesting. Of course, we saw the youngster Shulgren have a couple of solid games, but then had a rough night against the Predators yesterday. So obviously they're trying to sort things out for the playoffs. We'll see where all this goes. Some interesting information there. The Leafs also have veteran forward Kyle Clifford on waivers today as well. Obviously, they wanted to re-demote him to the Marlies in order to kind of create some more roster and cap flexibility as they go through these trade deadline moves. It's rumored that the Leafs are acquiring Travis Dermott. There's a report that the Leafs are acquiring Giordano, but we don't have the final details yet. There will be a video up shortly once we know. And it's also been reported that Travis Dermott is on his way to Vancouver, which we'll talk about in another video shortly as well once those full details come out. Also on waivers today, we have Kyle Turris of the Edmonton Oilers, another interesting veteran guy there. Oilers are trying to get some more flexibility. Christian Jaros in New Jersey. You had Derek Pouliot, who just signed a two-way deal with the Vegas Golden Knights. The Calgary Flames have veteran forward Brad Richardson on waivers, and the Coyotes have Riley Nash on waivers. So lots of interesting names there for sure. Some veteran players that could be picked up for nothing, of course, instead of making trades for teams trying to bulk up for the Stanley Cup playoffs. We also had a waiver claim from yesterday with the Anaheim Ducks picking up Jerry Mayhew, who was on waivers as well from the Flyers. Now, we also had a quick signing today as well. The Pittsburgh Penguins have re-signed forward Mark Friedman to a 2-year contract extension valued at $775,000. He's actually played relatively well for them, so certainly has earned that extension for sure. That's a good deal. Will help them keep their numbers down. Obviously, the more contracts they can have cheaper like that will help out their salary cap situation. So that is all your waivers news for today. Lots of interesting names out there. Like the Maple Leafs goaltending situation takes another twist here, and we'll see where this goes once we get more details. So let me know your thoughts on all this down in the comments. We'll discuss further. Of course, if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the news on our NHL trade deadline 2022. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.